From CNN, Trump picks Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to be his Department of Health and Human Services secretary. I love how CNN is trying desperately to come back into the fold of real news. So while all these other news outlets are just vomiting all over themselves, their headline is normal. I'll give them that one. They say President-elect Donald Trump has picked RFK Jr. to be his next secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services, a choice that would add to Trump's list of provocative picks whose confirmation processes will test the loyalty of Senate Republicans. Trump on Thursday announced the selection, confirming CNN's earlier reporting, saying he was thrilled to share the pick. Of course, this is what we're going to go for. Some people said maybe FDA, HHS, let's roll. Quote, the safety and health of all Americans is the most important role of any administration, and HHS will play a big role in helping ensure that everybody will be protected from harmful chemicals, pollutants, pesticides, pharmaceutical products, and food additives that have contributed to the overwhelming health crisis in this country. Trump said in a post on X, Mr. Kennedy will restore these agencies to the traditions of gold standard scientific research and beacons of transparency to end the chronic disease epidemic and to make America great and healthy again. And here we go. This is from Jordan Schachtel. He says pharma stocks all took a nosedive after RFK Jr. announcement. You'll love, what is that? GlaxoSmithKline, Moderna, and Pfizer. Oh, you know what? Hey, we're not sponsored by them like the corporate press, so we don't care all that much. Here's what you get from NBC News. Trump picks RFK Jr., anti-vaccine activist, for Health and Human Services Secretary. They just had to squeeze something in. Here's the Lincoln Project. Get yourself and your family vaccinated while you still can. Seriously, dude, RFK Jr. is not anti-vaccine. He's not going to ban vaccines. These people are nuts. But then, most importantly, from Mike Benz, he says, I don't think folks outside government have any idea how big a deal this is. HHS has the single largest budget of any department in the entire federal government, even more money than the Pentagon, $2 trillion a year now under RFK's top dog accountability. How you guys doing?
So there's something that when it comes to that post by Mike, those numbers are that way because that includes mandatory spending. So that's not discretionary. That's the your what's it called? The mandatory spending, the stuff that you have to spend, like the Social Security and Medicare, Medicaid, right. Those kind of things. So that's
entitlements.
Yes, the entitlement. So you can't actually HHS doesn't spend that much money on other stuff. So you're not going to be able to do anything about the mandatory spending without serious legislation, which Trump has promised to not do. So whereas, yes, it is accurate that it does spend more money, it implies that they're blowing money in a way that can be changed without serious legislation. Discretionary spending, they can do a lot with discretionary spending. They can do a whole lot. But the military budget is discretionary spending. It is spending on the military expenditures and stuff. So it's a little different.
There's tons of articles that are popping up where they're like, this guy's anti-science, and like the Lincoln Project really exemplifies the absurdity of what they're claiming about this guy. RFK Jr. is not anti-science. He had a video that went viral where he talked about, what was it, tartrazine or something like that?
Was that with the breakfast cereals and all that?
No.
He had the big
not
screen
atrazine
in front of him.
Yeah, he was talking about yellow dye, and he's like, this is a coal byproduct that is used to make a yellow dye that doesn't need to be in food. And so I bet that whose is that Mountain Dew right now?
Not it.
That's my gamer juice, yeah.
Gamer juice. Let's take a look. Look at the ingredients. It's got yellow dye in it.
Dude, this has got to have yellow 40 or something.
Yellow 5.
So yeah, yellow 5 is
Yellow
present.
5 it is. So RFK Jr. is basically saying, why do we need to color our food with this substance that some studies have shown can cause, I forgot what I'll have to look it up, but it does cause chronic illness. And it's like, just make the soda clear. You don't need to put these things in. There's nothing unreasonable about saying that.
No.
If you want to give a kid a piece of candy, it doesn't need to be red. You know where the red dye comes from? These little bugs they mash, and they've got an aluminum compound in them that is bright red. That's what we use to make dyes. And his whole point was hey, let's start here. If it doesn't need to be in the food, don't put it in the food. So the other day, Allison was on Instacart looking for heavy cream because I don't know what she's making. Croissants or something that needs cream. I don't know.
Something delicious.
Yeah, gotta be.
Delicious.
Yeah, definitely yummy.
And every single heavy cream had weird stuff in it. I understand why Gelen gum is in it. They're trying to thicken it up. That's gross. Yeah. We don't want that. And so it actually took like 4 or 5 different stores to find actual cream. Why is that stuff in this? It doesn't need to be. That's all he's saying.
Yeah, and all those questions used to be like fundamentally left-wing talking points too, but the motive was what mattered. So they would say, "Why are these in these food products?" And it's obviously because the greedy capitalist corporations are doing this because they can profit off it. And it's like, okay, maybe, but then if you start to pursue that line of argument from a more maybe right-wing perspective, where it's like, well, we probably shouldn't be polluting our population because we want people to be healthy. Because when people are healthy and well-adjusted, they probably are not so anxious and scared all the time. They don't need the nanny state. You don't have types of people that wind up in like the Antifa mugshots. I mean, there's a reason they all look the same.
Yes.
These are like fundamentally maladjusted people, and it's because of these kinds of chemicals, which is why none of these articles are talking about that except for to make him sound crazy. They're highlighting the skepticism about, they're saying he's an anti-vaxxer and things of that nature to, sort of, I guess, squeeze the last fear or panic out of that like COVID kind of, divide that we had in this country. So it's just totally disingenuous.
Regular viewers of the show probably have heard me make the exact same point that our friend John here is making. The left wants people anxious. They want people unhappy because well-adjusted people with happy lives and happy families that feel fulfilled, they are not revolutionaries. If you are happy, you do not want to tear society down to rebuild it in your image or in a way that you think will be more fair in distribution. So I appreciate you making that point, Serge.
It's absolutely, and this is, by the way, the history of how communism works too. I mean, if you look even in like the Russian Civil War and the Russian Revolution, the first thing they did was open up the prisons, recruit all of the people who are criminals. They are freaks of some nature. Like, you're never going to sell a system of equality to people who are more or less capable of being independent, productive members of society, which is why there's that one type of person. You can have liberal friends and relatives who are maybe a little bit more normal. But if you think about the most extreme, those Antifa mugshots, there's a reason they all look that way. It's
Yes.
a biological phenomenon because largely of what we're ingesting, and that's what RFK is going to fix.
So tartrazine was, I was right, it was tartrazine. It's a yellow 5. It's a commonly used food coloring agent all over the world. And they say it was discovered in 1884 by a Swiss chemist who developed the yellow azo dye in laboratories. Blah, blah, blah. It was patented and produced in Germany, et cetera, et cetera. I don't really care about how they did that, but they go on to mention that while it's used in a bunch of foods, there is potential health effects on humans: sensitivity, asthma, food intolerance. They do mention urban legends, but a systematic review of the medical literature concluded that among patients with asthma, research has shown that exposure to tartrazine does not worsen symptoms, and avoidance of tartrazine does not improve symptoms. However, due to the paucity of evidence, it's not possible. So I don't know why they even included that. There was something that RFK Jr. had mentioned specifically in his statement. I think they're editing the Wikipedia, because when we went over this last time when he announced it, it was in here and now it's not. That's interesting.
Wikipedia is actually, like, if you pull up right now Donald Trump's Wikipedia page versus Adolf Hitler's Wikipedia page, I swear to God, you read Hitler's Wikipedia page and it like states things about him, but there's no like moralizing language. It's just like he did this, and you can read that and be like, well, maybe that wasn't so good. If you read Trump's Wikipedia page, it's actually written less charitably than the one for Hitler. Like, it uses these very just, oh, he did this, defrauding these people, and like making it very contemporary, so you know that you can't like anything about him. But it's totally weird.
Yeah, so when you search and you look up tartrazine on Science Direct, they have a study saying hyperactivity, asthma, rhinitis, urticaria, and atopic dermatitis. And the rhinitis was the one that we pulled up, because when this story first broke and he came out, it was all in the Wikipedia. Now it's not. Like, this is crazy. Don't use Wikipedia. You should know that. But there you go. Don't worry. I pulled it up from Science Direct for you guys. So yeah, simply put, if there's a 0.1% chance that this does something bad to you, why is it in our food?
Yeah.
It's the same thing with the fluoride argument. They say it's good for your teeth, strengthens enamel, and it kills bacteria. And I say, oh, that's great. Thank you very much. Why am I drinking it? Well, I don't know. Okay, well, put it in my toothpaste, then I'm good, right?
Yep.
You go to the dentist, they say, give you the little sticker. They say, don't eat, don't drink for like a half hour.
You're right.
So
Yet they give babies fluoride water. You ever see that stuff? Water for babies with added fluoride. And I asked, you look it up and it's like, if you look up why they put fluoride in baby water, it says for their teeth. And I'm like,
where are the
babies
teeth?
don't have teeth.
the teeth in question, yeah, it's just like gums. The big thing, too, is I think the endocrine disruptors. I mean, he talks about that. We haven't heard anybody else at his level talk about that. But that is what, I mean, your hormones affect literally everything about you. If you look at like symptoms of low testosterone in men, the soy boys, like you are depressed, you have low energy, you are even the way your physicality develops, you look more androgynous. I mean, you look the way that like Zoomers look compared to millennials or Gen Xer men, the women, everyone's sort of morphing into these like androgynous blob creatures because the hormones are just totally imbalanced.
Well,
it's because the estrogen in the tap water, you've got the atrazine and other endocrine disruptors in the food, things of that nature, because of pesticides, even the packaging, and
phthalates,
yes,
and PCBs in your Mountain Dew.
Yes, and it's true. It's true. RFK, I'm enjoying it while I can. It's like how they said you have to get vaccinated while you can. I'm enjoying my Mountain Dew before RFK takes it away.
Well,
and
I mean,
vote
you
for
can
him.
just choose not to, eat this stuff. So that's what we do. I mean, look, for breakfast, I have eggs straight from the chicken's butt. Just, they fall right out. You pick them up, you eat them. And then we do have, like, our cheese and everything. It's wrapped in plastic. There's nothing you can do. But we always, what I've been doing, and we've been doing this for like a couple of years now. We typically avoid ingredients that are just, if we don't know what it is. It's like, I don't know what that is. I'm not going to eat it. You know what I mean? Like, if I found something on the ground, I wouldn't eat it. If that word. And yes, I understand that some things have vitamins in them, and I know what those words are. So if you look at cereals, it's got a bunch of words that look scientific-y. It's like just vitamins. That's fine. But I get that on my vitamin jar. And I don't know. I'm excited for this.
Yeah, why would they not want him? Basically, about 75%, or I'm sorry, 75% of U.S. adults over the age of 20 are 31% overweight and 42% are obese. If someone who cares about Americans' health to come into the administration and to help everyone get thinner, why the F do they care?
I'll explain it to you. Let's break it down. You got 10 people in a room, and they're all very smart, fit, well-adjusted people. Let's say 5 men, 5 women. And then you come in and you say, here's what we're going to do. There's going to be 10 meals for each of you every day with enough calories to sustain you. One of those meals will have some kind of chemical that impairs humans. We're not going to tell you which one. So the first night, they all eat the food. Everybody feels fine. One person is slightly impaired but doesn't notice. The next day, the same thing. Now there's 2 people who have eaten garbage. The next day, there's 3 people. Over a long enough period of time, eventually everybody is all messed up and their brains don't work, even though it was only one thing that was tainted. Then you come in and ask them, what should we do and how should we run things? Their brains don't work. Once you get to half of the people who have consumed something that's rotted their brain and body and they can't think properly, you cannot run a system effectively.
And it also kills the drug pharmacy, like you showed the pharmacy folks, and the medical industry in general.
Oh, yeah. And then won't someone think of the jobs? Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.